Good afternoon or good morning, Challenges Forum, wherever you may be. It's a pleasure to be with you today. My name is Adam Smith. I'm the team leader for the Strategic Force Generation Cell with the UN Department of Peace Operations. I've been asked to give a presentation to introduce the Force Commander unit evaluations. These are the military unit evaluations that have been developed in 2016, 2017, to assess the performance of the individual units in the field when they're deployed. Let me just share my screen really quickly. So as I said, they've been conducted since we rolled them out in 2017 in partnership with the Office of Military Affairs. Units are evaluated once per rotation. That's typically 12 months, the typical length of a rotation. Every unit must undergo a performance improvement plan, or a PIP as we call it, after every evaluation. And then the subsequent evaluation, they follow up on the PIP and see what has been improved. Summaries of those evaluations are then sent to headquarters. We developed an online tool where the missions can plug that in electronically and we get it instantly. These summaries contain the main 6 categories of the evaluations. That is mandate comprehension and support, command and control, training and discipline, sustainment, and health. We've added extra questions last year on protection of civilians, both the willingness and the ability of the units to implement their tasks related to POC. Now that evaluation data feeds into regular meetings that we organize, chaired by the USG of TPO, both monthly and quarterly performance meetings. Monthly, we tend to look at individual underperforming units, make decisions, and then follow up on what's been done on those decisions in subsequent monthly meetings. Quarterly meetings look at trends in performance, either across TCCs or across missions or across types of units where we present data. We also integrate data and present that to leadership in those meetings. The final thing, we also use this information to do individual TCC, PCC meetings. So we'll work with their representatives in New York, and we'll show them all the data we have, both the evaluation data, but also conduct and discipline data, contingent owned equipment data, anything we have, feedback from the field, so that they understand the performance of their units, and we can address other issues involving their performance. So this is just an example of a slide that we put together. This shows all the TCCs in one particular mission. Some of them have multiple units, so you'll see more than one circle for a TCC. The big circle is the average score of all their units in the mission, but you can see there is some variation across TCCs in a mission. The scale that is used for the evaluations is a 1 through 4 scale for each question, and that's aggregated together to get an average score. And we tend to look at the deviation from the mission average when we're comparing across missions, rather than an absolute score of 3.5, which may mean one thing in one mission, but a very different thing in another mission, where they tend to grade slightly differently. Here's another slide that we put together, which shows contingent owned equipment performance on the y-axis, and then the Force Commander evaluation rating on the x-axis. So you can see those two put together. The green quadrant shows above average or satisfactory performance in both, and the red quadrant shows unsatisfactory performance in both. Where the dotted squares are units that we've gone in depth for discussion in our quarterly meetings, and then we also have highlighted a couple of units. Now that we have a couple of years or a few years of data, we can show where units have changed their performance or improved or regressed in their performance. So you'll see 2 units that we highlighted that have improved their scores over time. The last thing I'll mention is just that, as with any system, there's constant evolution. So this system is undergoing a pretty intense revision right now, with the objective or the aim to make it a more objective system. So there are set standards and indicators for each task, for each type of unit. So rather than the same type of questions for every type of unit, there will be specific questions for each type of unit. Also, we're developing the ability to have data integration at the field level. So the commanders and the evaluators will be able to see conduct data, contingent owned equipment data, and force commander evaluation data together in the field. Right now, we do the integration at headquarters, but this will give that ability to do that kind of analysis in the field. So the first pilot of this revised system has been done in Cyprus, and will be a second pilot carried out in the first quarter of 2021 in a larger mission, with hopeful rollout in 2022 or later in 2021, excuse me. So I hope that's answered a few questions for the Force Commander Evaluation System. And again, it was my pleasure to be here. Good luck with your discussions. Thanks.